This is Danny Flexon here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined once again by the British middleweight champion, Denzel Bentley. Denzel, how you doing?
I'm all good, thanks. And yourself?
I'm very good, thank you. This is the first time we've had the chance to catch up properly since the World Title Challenge against Janibek
Yeah.
back in November. I guess good place to start. What are your reflections on that fight?
Yeah, no, it was a good fight. I think I'm good kind of myself. I showed, a old level, and I just want to continue to push on and stay at this level and, keep competing at this level.
Was there a part of the fight where you felt like I belong here, this is my time, and when, if that happened, did it come in the fight?
I mean, like, I felt like that from before the fight. I felt like, everything's falling into place. It's what I meant to be anyway, regardless. Obviously, of course, the first 4 rounds looked the way it did because I was trying to figure out what he had and what he didn't have. But obviously, I just took a bit too long to figure all of that out. And maybe if I cut it by 2 rounds, it would have been different. But
I know you don't pay too much attention to kind of external perceptions and voices, but were you at all disappointed that a lot of the, especially in the US, a lot of the reflections and criticism seemed to go towards Janibek rather than crediting you perhaps for the performance you put in?
yeah, but at the end of the day, over there in the US, they didn't know me. They was expecting me to get knocked out. This was meant to be a showcase job for Janibek, so I understand why they were criticizing rather than praise me because, of course, they didn't know me. Innit? I was a guy coming from nowhere, coming to lay down for a payday, and obviously I showed different. But yeah, I did deserve some credit. The fans outside of that have reached out to me and gave me their praises and stuff, whether it's through Instagram or on their YouTube channels, I've seen that and I appreciate it. But of course, the mainstream media, their main focus is Janibek, so that's who they're going to talk about.
When you came out of that fight, as you said, gave a great account of yourself, and then the next fight presented to you is, and we could talk about that shortly, a British title defence. Was there any kind of hesitation on your part in going from the very top level and then dropping back down, I think it's fair to say, in levels to a standard British title defence?
No, 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 no. There wasn't no hesitation. Still a good fight. He's 18-1. It's a British title defense, but I am still the British champion. So if I'm not going to defend it, then I might as well vacate it. One more time, and I get to keep it. So that was also, a reason why I felt like, yeah, let's do it. Um, and of course, once you fight at that level, I didn't win at that level. So, you got to kind of take a step back, assess things, work on things, come back, and then put it into action again. So, I want to push back up to that level. But yeah, if this is the route I have to take to get there, then this is the route I have to take to get there.
As you said, a lot of people, particularly in the US, felt like your fight with Janibek would be a showcase for him. Not much was expected of you, and you went out and put on a great show, a great performance. This time round, you're going to be expected widely to win this and to win this fairly clearly. How does that change, if at all, your mindset?
I just got to block it out. Same way I blocked out the fact that everyone thought I was getting iced in 2 rounds by Janibek. You know what I mean? So I got to block it out, not pay attention to it, not look into it. Just because I'm expected to blow him out in a couple of rounds doesn't mean I'm going to. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. It's still a fight at the end of the day. I've still got to be 100%. Just because I'm the favorite or the fans think is one way, that doesn't mean, you know, there can't be an upset. I've got to make sure I do the work so that there isn't an upset. So still the same mindset.
And that fight is on April the 15th on the same show as
Yeah.
Joyce against Ilel Zhang, against Kieran Smith, who, as you said earlier, only got that one defeat to Troy Williamson down at 154. So he hasn't been beaten at middleweight. What do you make of him as a fighter? How do you assess him?
Yeah, he's a decent fighter. He's tall, he's rangy, 6'2", southpaw. A good fighter. He looks a bit tricky, boxes that at range. So yeah, I think he's a good fighter.
The most important thing is always getting the win, but do you ever get concerned about particular styles of opponents in terms of how good you can look in the fight as well? Because as you said,
No,
rangy southpaw.
yeah, no, I don't think I don't. My career shows that I've never taken a fight based on who's gonna make me look good. So I'm not really bothered, to be honest. It's still the same intentions. So yeah.
Do you still get excited about being on the really big events? Obviously, the Janibek fight was overseas. This one's back in the UK on a really big show.
Yeah, it's mad because I was just saying this today to someone. I haven't really been on a big card like this before.
Hmm.
when I think about it, it's kind of mad. I mean, I've been on good cards, but I haven't actually been on a big card. You know what I'm saying? So I think recently I've been headlining quite a lot as well, which is a good thing. Which is always a good thing because it's my show. It means everyone watching is watching for me. But yeah, I could probably catch some new fans being on a solid card like Joyce versus Zhang. So I'm looking forward to it.
And should it all go well and you get that Lonsdale Belt outright, is that something growing up you kind of thought about the Lonsdale Belt and the history of it, or is it more just a box to tick?
Not really, because I didn't watch boxing growing up, and I didn't really know much about the Lonsdale Belt. When I started watching boxing, I was watching these American fighters like Floyd Mayweather and Adrian Broner. Of course, obviously they're world champions, and then obviously as I got into boxing, I learned about the British title, and obviously, that's one of the steps you take to, winning a world title. And I wanted to win one. Winning it outright would be good, though. It would be good. I can't lie and say it's something I dreamed of as a kid because I didn't watch boxing as a kid. But I'm here now, and I know what kind of weight the title holds. I appreciate the title. I'm happy I'm the champion. So, hey, if there's one more to keep it, then let's keep it.
Now, you appreciate the fact that you're the champion. However, if you do win it outright, would the temptation then be there to relinquish it and move on to a higher level?
Yeah, I mean, if I, when I win it outright, I've won it outright. You know what I'm saying I've done the hard part. So yeah, the temptation will be there to, vacate and move on to the level that I feel like I'm at, which is world level. So if I can get a few fringe world level opponents, get a few names, hopefully over here to the UK to battle for another, position to fight for a world title, then that's where I want to be. But at the end of the day, it's all the journey, and I take what fight's given to me. So as long as it makes sense to me. So, pardon me, yeah.
Is that the longer term plan then in terms of the opponents rather than, I don't know, European and then a fringe belt and all that sort of stuff? You want to get some kind of
I
world
mean,
level names?
I've already asked for the European, but obviously there's, people in line for that.
Backlog, yeah.
I'm like third in line, so it's like I gotta wait my turn. So whatever we could do, if we can get some names down, that would be great as well. I don't really want to be sitting around waiting for people. I don't really want to be boxing people that don't make sense to box. I want to be boxing people that's gonna get my name out there. That's gonna, get people talk about me. People talk about my performances and make noise about what I just done and who I just beat. So there's no point of fighting a bunch of no names just to be busy. I want to be in good fights, memorable fights. So that's why I'm in the sport. When I retire, people can watch back and say, "Oh, he was a great fighter. He fought this guy. Oh, remember this fight? Remember that fight?" Just like how I talk about my favorite fighters. So yeah.
Now, you didn't watch boxing as a kid, as you've said, but I'm sure you watch your share of it now. Who are those names?
100%.
Who are you looking to pick off?
What do you mean? Who I want to fight or
Yeah.
back in the day, guys?
No,
Who I
no, who
want to
do you want
fight?
to fight?
There's something like there's a few names out there. It's like if you're talking about American fighters, I think J. Rock Williams is a great name. I've heard he's coming up to middleweight. Who else was there? Luis Arias was a good name that I mentioned a while back. I'm not sure what he's doing right now though. Jarrett Hurd if he's come up to 160. Do you know what I mean? Like just guys like that. Erislandy Lara. I know he's a world champion, but that's a fight in the middleweight division. And these are like I'm just mentioning names outside of the champions. I'd love to fight the champions, but of course names outside of the champions. But other than that, yeah, of course you got Golovkin and Charlo, and obviously a rematch with Janibek. So those are the
Who do
names I'm
you rate
interested in.
as apart from yourself, obviously, and you've been in now with Janibek as well, who do you rate as the number one at middleweight currently?
Who do I rate as the top middleweight currently?
Yeah, apart from yourself.
In the UK or just worldwide?
No, no, worldwide.
Oh, of course the champions. You got to put Liam Smith in there. If he's staying at middleweight, and that's another name that I'd love to fight. That's another name. Um, what's that kid's name that just knocked out the Spanish guy? Oh, he just knocked out that. He's a southpaw. Adams.
Oh, Carlos
I
Adames.
think he Carlos Adams. He must be Dominican.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. He's a top name as well. Um, can't think right now. So mad.
I mean, the champions, of course, you've got Triple
Yeah,
G.
Derevanchenko.
Derevyanchenko's very good, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh no, yeah. Of course, the champions. You've got Triple G, Charlo, Janibek.
Janibek.
100. That goes without saying. That goes without saying. They're obviously yeah, Janibek. They're the top. They're the top guys. They're the top of the crop. So obviously, just outside of those, the guys that are good enough to be champions but aren't champions, I'm kind of thinking about. But yeah, no, yeah, those are the top guys.
Stuff. Now, looking kind of lower down the scale, and I mean that respectfully, you've got a fight this weekend for the English middleweight title. I imagine whoever comes through that will be right in line for that vacant British title shot, should you end up vacating later on. And that's Brad Pauls against Tyler Denny. What do you make of that fight? Have you got experience with either of those guys in terms of sparring or anything like that?
I think it's a good fight. I sparred Brad Pauls. I think that twice. Tyler Denny also is on a run right now. He's just he picked himself up. He had an opportunity when he fought River Wilson, drew the first time and then won the next one, and he just picked up momentum from there. You could even secretly say he's kind of a run since he fought less. I didn't see the fight, but people thought it was controversial. Of course, when I was fighting analysts, I went to watch it. I'm not going to say he won, but that was probably his best performance up to that point. And then from then, people have been thinking, okay, yeah, he's a decent step up fight, and he's just been running through them. I think that everyone he's beat so far, he's beat quite convincingly. He beat what's that tall guy's name, middleweight, Brad Ray.
Brad Ray.
Beat him convincingly. Yeah, beat him convincingly. He beat River Wilson, and now he's on to Brad Pauls, and the challenging fight. If I was Brad Pauls, I wouldn't be taking that lightly at all. Like, regardless if my gym mate had beat him or not, because he's on a good run and he's got momentum right now, and that's a dangerous fight as someone with momentum. So, Brad Pauls got to take it serious. Just go out there and just have a real fight, and don't think this is going to be easy. It's not.
Who are you picking?
I don't know. I've never been in there with Tyler Denny, so I don't really know what kind of skills he possesses, but it's a genuine 50-50. But if we're looking at form, I'd slide towards Tyler Denny, because I can't remember the last time Brad Pauls fight was a while ago. Nearly a year ago. That was when I fought Linus. So he's been inactive, and that can play a part, but if he's gonna be who he wants to be, and he's an undefeated fighter, and he's got power and stuff, he should be winning this fight. But I'm a guy that kind of, I kind of prefer guys that are active and and I go with the momentum. So it's a good 50-50 fight. I think either of them are capable of winning, but it's just who turns up.
It's very insightful and not a surprise, because you recently did a lot of punditry work for BT Sport. Saw you on TV. How did you kind of find that? Did you enjoy it? Or what did you kind of take to it naturally?
Yeah, no, I definitely enjoyed it. I watch a lot of boxing anyway, and I'm always talking boxing. So it was just like sitting at home talking boxing with the guys, but at least, except I'm on TV, and and actually giving a professional insight on it. But I enjoyed it. It was good. I didn't really find myself stuck or anything, because yeah, it was good. It was good.
Would you like to do it again or a bit more often?
100%, 100%. I enjoyed that. Easier than being in the ring, isn't
it? Yeah, I would assume so. Yeah, you can get your fellow pundits chucking right hooks at you at least, but well, not yet. Anyway, it depends how controversial you become, but for now. All right, really, really appreciate your time as always. Look forward to the fight on April the 15th. I'm sure we'll talk again before then, but yeah, look forward to seeing what you get out of 2023.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cheers, mate. Take care.
Appreciate it.